Welcome to the Love Agenda. This is Brother Rob Wilson. I have something shocking. Jesse Lee Peterson was a guest, an invited guest on the Bullpen with Dr. Rashad Richey. I've been watching this guy's channel for quite some time. I have came to respect about 2% of what the man says, and this is the host of the Bullpen. And about 2 or 3%, there's been some times when I'm like, okay, 100 agree. For the most part, his content is extremely biased, based in feelings and not fact. And he invited Jesse Lee Peterson on. If you don't know anything about Jesse Lee Peterson, you're about to find out. He's a character. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with the way he goes about saying what he says. But I find him very interesting, and he calls it like it is. But if you know anything about him, you know what you're getting. And so did Dr. Rashad. Okay? So I'm just going to let you check it out. And, White History Month. I never heard of it until I watched this. So I'm going to let you get right into it. I'm not going to stop it too much. And I'm just going to play it. Let you check it out.
In the bullpen today, I have a conservative radio talk personality, TV host, extreme conservative, and he's proud of it. Pastor Jesse Lee Peterson, founder and president of Bond, B-O-N-D, and host of JLP Show and The Fallen State. Pastor Peterson, good day, welcome to Indisputable.
Thank you for having me on, I appreciate it.
Sir, you all have a celebration coming up next month. Are you not the founder of White History Month, I think, which starts in July?
Yeah, we're going to be celebrating our 4th year of White History Month in July. And the reason that we started it.
Look, I just want to share right off the bat. And this is what I said when I did the response to Reid inviting Chris Rufo on. Don't go on the show. He's having this guy on here. It ain't going to last long. He's having him on here just to make fun of him, just to ridicule him, and just for entertainment for his viewers. And he knows what he's getting. He's not a stupid man. So he invited Jesse Lee Peterson on with a definite agenda to get a rise out of his fan base and to make fun of him. And I mean, the idea of White History Month is a little laughable, but this is his intent. His intent is to do what he's going to do.
In July is because if you notice, July just feels white.
Yeah.
It's summertime, vacation time, relaxing time, reflecting time, and appreciating the greatest country on this side of heaven.
Gotcha.
And so we are recognizing that and showing our appreciation for it.
I think it's important for people to know you're not a comedian. What you're saying, right? What you're saying, this is actually you. You do this. You did found.
He knows it's him. He knows what he's getting. He didn't have this guy on here without knowing what he's getting. So he knew what he was about to do here real quick.
You're the founder of White History Month.
Yes.
You've also been very critical of Juneteenth. You have called it a fake holiday, but you are. You want to make sure that everyone supports White History Month.
Absolutely.
I do want to have a policy discussion with you about the George Floyd Policing and Accountability Act. I'm going to attempt to have that policy discussion with you. Do you agree or disagree with the George Floyd Policing and Accountability Act?
I totally disagree because, as we all know, George Floyd was a black, unemployed drug addict with a criminal record. And I just
let's first of all, let's clear something up, sir. You really should be ashamed of yourself. You call yourself a Christian pastor. George Floyd is dead.
It's his fault.
He's dead because a cop killed him.
No, now, he's dead because he was a drug addict.
My question to you, and that's adverse to the evidence, by the way, what you just said. My question to you was about policy. So let me ask you, what in the policy of the George Floyd Policing Act do you disagree with?
The whole idea.
Which part of the policy? Jesse,
blaming the cops and no responsibility
Jesse,
for the blacks.
I'm asking you, what part of the policy is written? You can find it at congress.gov. What part of the policy, sir, do you disagree with? This is a simple question.
I disagree with the whole idea of a policy.
You haven't read the policy. You haven't even read the damn policy. Come on, Jesse.
I don't need to read it. I don't need to read it to know the truth, because what I've noticed is that black people today, due to their lack of love, their lack of believing in God, they love evil more than they love good, right?
So that's the reason why you don't read.
And so
that's the reason why you don't read.
Right, because we're written by no good black people. And why should I waste my time knowing what they're about? Black folks today, and not all, but most, have no sense of direction. They're blaming everybody but themselves. And until they take responsibility for their own lives, they're not going to get better. The real truth is,
let me ask
George Floyd is dead because of George Floyd and no one else.
That's a ridiculous point. But do you blame yourself for not reading the policy, or you blame somebody else?
Why should I read the policy when I already know the people?
You don't even know what's in the policy, do you?
I don't need to know, don't want to know. I know the people who are writing it, they're no good.
Okay, let's talk about Black Lives Matter. This is probably going to end up being an utter waste of my time having you on the show. What are your thoughts about Black Lives Matter? You don't know that.
He knows that. He knows exactly where this is going. He knows where he's taking it. He knows what he's about to do. That's why I'm reacting to this. I mean, that's why I'm showing this. This is what happens when you go on Joy Reid, Marc Lamont Hill, or the show's called The Bullpen, but the channel's called Indisputable or something like that. I mean, a section of it's called Indisputable, but this portion of the show is called The Bullpen. I mean, he knows what he's going to do. This is why it doesn't. Every guest I've seen him bring on that is whatsoever to the right or conservative, I've seen him take over the conversation, lead it where he wants it to go, show off his flair for, for the dramatic, show off his alleged education, and it's just pretty pathetic. And I mean, and there's no ability to. This is a complete narcissist, okay? And he knew the way he was going to victimize this brother, and just like the others knew, Chris Rufo's been on both Marc Lamont Hill and Joy Reid and got kicked all over the canvas, and they never let the man even speak.
Learn something.
Well, we'll see, preacher. What is it about Black Lives Matter that you disagree with fundamentally?
Black Lives Matter was founded by a bunch of fat, black, radical lesbians.
Okay.
And who
All
hate
right, have
God.
a good man. Get this clown off my show. I appreciate you.
Who hate God, who hate the nuclear family.
Yeah. Listen, for those of you who wanted me to continue to engage that clown on this show, I'm sorry, I just couldn't do it. I'm only a human being. So please forgive me, okay? All right. Here's what we'll do for the rest of the show. I will read some comments, and I know some of you will say, "Oh, Rashad, that was just so rude," and yeah, it was. I couldn't take any more of that foolishness. He's not going to make a debate in good faith.
He wasn't. He was invited to this show. I'll guarantee you, the way someone gets into this studio app, they have to have a link. You have to invite them, and I'm pretty sure Jesse Peterson wasn't knocking on their door and soliciting to be on the show. So he invited him on the show to do exactly what he did, and to grandstand and try to virtue signal. And I am not turned on by Jesse Lee Peterson's approach, which is quite frankly offensive. I don't see any reason for it or any necessity for it. But this stuff here, I actually don't see any necessity for it either.
Even if you oppose whatever I believe on the most extreme policy side, at least you have a policy argument. I can engage in a good faith debate about ideas. But
he's not a policy person. He's never debating policy. That's not who Jesse Lee Peterson is. So you invited him on your show to do your thing, and you knew what you were getting and who you were getting. He's not talking about what the legislator says. It's not part of any one of his platforms.
You want to utilize this platform to bash gay people, to bash black people, to bash communities that are disenfranchised. If that's all you want to do, then no, you won't do that here. And I'm sure all of his cronies, once he puts this on his social media feed, they will try to come after me. I want all the smoke. I'm good with every bit of it, all right? Okay, let's read some of the comments. We got some of the comments.
You are,
let's do it that
that's what you want, drama.
D. Packman debated him a few times. He has no facts to back him up, says crazy stuff. If I was a Republican, I would be embarrassed. Yeah, but they don't call him out. He's kind of like Candace Owens, just his version of it. But he's even more extreme when you really think about it. He's the OG of that, whatever it is.
I like that. That's funny. Jesse Lee Peterson is the OG of the right, the original gangster. And no, if I was to talk to him, there's a lot of things that I appreciate in what he says, but the way he says what he says, it's quite frankly, it's too offensive, it's too abrupt, and it's too unnecessary. It's part of the problem that keeps the battle going on. But in all defense, you knew what you were getting. Man, that's all you did not, you knew he wasn't going to know policy. You knew he wasn't going to debate a policy with you. You know he doesn't read him. He doesn't care to read him. That's just, you can, with all the intellect in the world, you can know who Jesse Peterson is. You knew you were going to take this right to where you're taking it right now.
He's much more extreme than anyone else. Okay. This guy has a point. The guy with the glasses, not the flaming racist bigot. All right, that was from Franco. Lauren McRae says, this embodies why we must continue to push for easier access to mental health services. Listen, I damn near fell out my chair on that one. That was funny. Lauren McRae, thank you for that. KR Williams 3876 says, thank you, Dr. Richey. Poliart says, thank you very much. I never understand why people entertain this idiot. I was shocked to see him on here. I tried. When I tell you, I did have a conversation with my producers before the show, and I promised, I said, listen, I am really going to try to have an actual policy conversation with this guy. And I did. I mean, I engaged in a good faith attempt. I hope you all saw that. We got a lot more. Gabby Mathis says, thank you for cutting this guy out. You're very welcome. Felicia Ritter says, much aloha and respect, Dr. Richey. Thank you. Stan Swish says, hold on to your butts. Beauty Divine says, I can't believe it's Jesse Lee Peterson. Please believe it. And he was exactly who he has always been, unable to engage in an actual conversation. So Mad Maple Syrup.
So you knew what you were getting. You planned on having him on to kick him off in less than 5 minutes. This is my point. Not that I'm supporting Jesse Peterson or I didn't know. It's August now, and he's the founder of White History Month. That's been going on for 4 years. This is the 4th year. We didn't get informed about that. We didn't ask for that. It's just quite. It's his gig. It's what Jesse Lee Peterson does. And the policy debate thing, like you said, you knew what you were getting. All right. This is why I'm saying this is just so. It turns my stomach, and especially with someone like Chris Rufo, who actually has logic and reason and the ability to debate. When they have him on, they don't let him talk. They shout over him. They control the conversation. They don't let him make his points. So there's no debate even when you have somebody who's willing to debate. It's just a thrashing session for them. And also, I'm going to do a recording of Brandon Tatum from Tatum Report if I get the chance and opportunity. Dr. Richey did not handle Brandon Tatum in the same way. And I don't agree with anyone 100 except Jesus and the Word of God. But I'm going to tell you what, the direction the left is going, and with this identity politics and this divisive politics, and categorizing and classifying and stigmatizing all of those people as this, that, or the other, which just stirs up more hate and vitriol. It's not the way. They're not trying to do what they say. They're not saying what they're trying to tell people they're saying. Not at all. They're trying to put leftist, communist, neo-Marxist ideology and to take over the government and the basic way of life in this country. You do that by propaganda, smear campaigns, and by cancel culture to where there is no capacity to have any type of dialogue, even between someone with whom you could have it. Jesse Lee Peterson is not, never has been, nor never will be the type of person that you can debate about a law that he is not going to look up or have much knowledge about. And it's not that he couldn't, it's just he doesn't want to. That's not his thing. He's going to say whatever off the cuff thing he wants to say, the way he wants to say it. All right. I just found this kind of it's kind of humorous, even Dr. Richey was laughing about it. But the sad thing is the acting, the drama, as if he didn't know exactly where this was going and plan on taking it there. I'm surprised it lasted that long. And he's not the first person he's done that to. Anytime, and another person I seen him do it to, it was nowhere near as inflammatory as Pastor Peterson was. And he booted him off the show. That's cancel culture, We're not going to talk. And this was a person who he didn't like his facts. All right. He didn't like his argument. He didn't like the fact that he wouldn't be bullied on his show. I have guests on here sometimes. I don't bully them. I come on to hear what they have to say, more about them and their viewpoints than suppressing their viewpoints with my viewpoints. All right. It's Brother Rob Wilson. Peace and love. Let me know if you think there's any reason why anyone from the right should go on one of these radical left ideologues, shows, podcasts, or webcasts. Let me know what you think. I don't think there's any reason to even have this conversation because it's not a conversation in good faith. Never has been, and among some people, it never will be. They have no desire to dialogue, no capacity to meet in the middle, no capacity for compromise, no capacity for reflection on how extreme some of these ideologies are, or no capacity for truth. All right, peace.